Hi, my name is Barbara.
Hi, and I'm Rana, and together we are Team
Barbarana.
Hello again. We have a Q&A today because a few days ago we made a Q&A on Instagram and wanted you to ask us questions, things that you are curious about, and now we are talking about some of your questions that we have received from you.
Okay.
Barbara, one of the questions that we have received was how to remove a masking tape without any problems from a watercolor paper.
Okay. Yeah, that's a question we received a lot. If you have difficulties to remove the masking tape from the paper, first we would recommend to use the Hahnemühle masking tapes. We have 3 different sizes. They are very good, and we tested them that they do not stick too hard to the paper and they can be easily removed. Next to that, if you have difficulties still to get them off very hard, we would recommend to use a hairdryer. You just not really close, but you heat the hairdryer and hold it over the masking tape so the glue gets a little bit warm, and then you can remove it easily.
Mm-hmm.
That's one. Or you can stick the masking tape.
Where is the masking tape, by the way?
That's a good question.
Maybe we can show it.
Here we have.
I can show that what you mean.
Yeah, you can also put it on your clothes before you stick it to the paper, and then the glue is not that sticky anymore, and then you can remove it easily, but it works fine. It still works fine and helps to keep spaces free.
Exactly.
Okay, next question. Rana, what's the difference between expression and harmony?
Yes, expression and harmony both are watercolor papers,
Mm-hmm.
and the difference is that expression is a watercolor paper made from 100% cotton, and the harmony is a watercolor paper which is made from cellulose. Both are having this muted red color because both are cold pressed. But we also have harmony in rough, which is the blue one, and also the green one, which is hot pressed. So we do have harmony in 3 surface textures with these 3 different colors, and we have one expression which is cold pressed with cotton.
Oh yeah, and we have the sign, the icon on it at the top.
Yes,
If it's not easy to, you will see it always at the top of the
exactly.
pad.
So all 300 GSM, and this is the main difference. The cotton and harmony is the cellulose. That's it. Okay, next question.
Next question.
Which is, Barbara, how to remove a sheet from a 4-side glued watercolor block?
Okay, so this is also a question that we receive very often. For example, we have a pad which is glued on all 4 sizes. A lot of people use a knife, which is not that good because then you can, destroy the paper or tear it. So therefore we have a product in our range, which is the bamboo bone folder. Bone folder is the word. It's not made from a bone, it's made from bamboo. And this one is really one of our, really good item because at a 4-glued paper, you have one space which is open. So here, it's at the top. You see it maybe? It's really at the top. And you just put the bone folder between the pages, and then you don't destroy the paper edge. You can, I hope you can see it. It's not that easy to make it visible. The paper really...
Normally you just
take
take
one
paper off.
But we are 2. So I took 2. And then you can you see the edge is very, there's no harm on the edge. And that's the best way to lose, or to remove a sheet from a 4-glued pad. Yeah.
That's very
Next
good explained.
question.
Next question. One of the others. What was it?
Rana, what does it mean when you say your paper is vegan? Isn't all paper vegan anyway?
Well, yes, vegan means, when you have a sheet of paper, the fibers in the papers, they need to be stick together. And they only stick together when you have a kind of glue in it or a sizing. And the sizing that we are using is not of any animal sources. Our glue, our sizing that we are using to keep the fibers together, to build a sheet, is made from synthetical sizing. And since 1965, we are using synthetical sizing. And so there are other companies, artist paper companies, that are still using animal gelatin to use the sizing to make sheets of papers and the paper production. But we are using synthetical, so our papers are all vegan and free from any animal sources. We are not using them. So that's why we call it vegan.
Yeah. And I think we were one of the first.
Yeah, in
Paper
1965,
yeah.
So it's quite a long time ago. And another question, Barbara, that we received was, what watercolor paper to use as a beginner?
Oh, yeah. Well, what we have in orange, as we developed, because we get the question again very often, we developed a pad, the watercolor selection pad. This one includes 14 different of our best watercolor or most used watercolor papers. So if you are a beginner and have no idea which paper you would use, we would recommend a watercolor selection pad. You have our best watercolor papers, the collection inside. You have some of our natural line papers inside. You have cotton papers, cellulose papers. So this is really a recommendation that is perfect if you have no idea what paper you like, which suits to your technique. This pad, we have it, that's in two sizes. That's the larger size, and then we have 17 by 24 centimeters. It's a smaller one. And if you don't have the possibility to get the watercolor selection, we would recommend anyway, as a beginner, a paper with 300 GSM, as a lot of people who start painting watercolor use a lot of watercolor, so you need a little bit more thicker paper than, more heavier paper than other ones maybe. So 300 GSM and a cold pressed surface would be best.
Yeah, that's good.
Or the watercolor selection.
Yeah.
Okay, next question.
Next question.
Rana, your turn.
My turn.
Let's see. It's only a selection of all the questions we received.
We received too many
Yeah.
to answer them all. We have
It would
selected about.
Take too long, so maybe we do another one and we do another question round. Rana, is watercolor paper also suitable for acrylic painting techniques?
Well, yes. Generally spoken, yes. Because both watercolor and also acrylic paints are water-based watercolor. I'm sorry, water-based paints. So generally spoken, yes, you can use acrylic paints also on watercolor paper. But we would recommend, of course, that you use for your acrylic painting technique also our acrylic papers, because they are really designed to meet the features of acrylic painting. So we would recommend to use acrylic paper for acrylic painting techniques. So that was short. Barbara, another question that we received was, what does surface sizing mean? It is written on some of our watercolor blocks, that's correct. What does it mean?
Okay, surface size, as we heard from Rana just a few minutes ago, we have a sizing which is internally, which is put to the product in the production process. The glue or the sizing is internally, material sized, we also say. Additionally, there are some papers, as the collection paper range, we have the expression and the harmony papers, which are surface size. Surface size means that we have additionally a surface sizing on the surface. at the top. You cannot see it, you can't touch it, and you can't feel it. But when you start painting, then you will recognize it behaves different. And yeah, you have to try out and find the perfect paper. If that surface size paper suits more to you, or a non-surface size. One property of a surface size is that the paint does not absorb that fast into the paper than a non-surface size.
It stays a bit longer.
It stays a little bit longer, yeah.
Surface, right.
So it's a matter of taste what you prefer.
As always.
Okay, now we come to an end. Last question. Yeah. What's the difference between watercolor papers made from cotton and watercolor papers made from cellulose?
Well, some of our papers are made from high quality alpha cellulose, but also there are some papers that are made from pure cotton. Cotton papers are known as the high class paper in the world of watercolor. And it's a robust paper, but also very smooth at the same time. When you do wet and wet painting techniques, cotton paper, for example, is really perfect for that, because the paper stays longer wet when it's a cotton paper. But once it is dried, the pigments really get bind in the paper when you have a cotton paper. And also the flow of colors on cotton paper is just, me personally, I love it. It's just really a good thing. Cellulose paper, they are more stiff on the surface. And it's also very easy to lift off colors again when you have cellulose papers, when they are still wet. So it is a matter of taste if you prefer cotton paper or cellulose paper. Both have their qualities, both have their features. So it's a matter of taste, and it's a matter of taste, and you have to try out
watercolor selection. Maybe we have both inside.
Exactly.
Okay.
So that was the Q&A. But I have one thing that I would like to share with you. There is maybe you have recognized, I'm not sure, before, that we have on our blocks, we do have these marks on the edges of the blocks. I don't know. Can they see Giannis? Is it visible? Okay, he's doing like that.
Giannis is the man behind.
Behind the camera.
Behind the camera.
He says it's visible. So these marks, we have red marks, blue marks, and green marks. They help you to identify the surface texture. When there is a red mark, it's cold pressed. We also have this red mark on the pad cover. It's also written, but anyway. And when it's blue, then you have the blue mark on the edge, but you also have the blue stripe on the pad cover. And when it is green, you have the green mark on the edge, and you also have the green on the pad cover. So just for your info, if you see it and you're wondering what this is just to identify the surface texture much easier. So that's it, because no one asked for that. Yeah. That's why I thought maybe we should describe it anyway.
Yeah, I guess a lot of people didn't know.
No, I think so. Maybe. Well, that's it. Maybe we'll make another Q&A, but that's it for now. And I hope it was helpful.
If you have questions, you can easily...
Barbarana.
Barbarana, Team Barbarana, we will answer them. You can send us a direct message or, just contact us. There are several ways.
Okay, exactly. Okay. See you then.
See you next time. Bye.
Bye.